You don't really meet people by accident. It might look random on the surface, like life just tossed someone into your path for no reason, but most of the time, something deeper is already pulling that moment toward you. Not in a mystical way, not in a movie script way, but in a very human way. What you carry inside you, your fears, your unmet needs, the love you never fully learned to receive, the parts of you that still ache, quietly shapes who you notice, who you trust, and who you feel drawn to. That's why some people pass through your life like background noise, and others hit you like a wave. One conversation, one look, one message, and suddenly you feel shifted. Not because they're special by default, but because they touched something that was already alive inside you. It's not magic. It's the inner world meeting the outer world and recognizing itself. Think about it. Someone shows up out of nowhere, a chance moment, a small interaction that should mean nothing, and yet your whole day feels different afterward. Your mind keeps replaying it. Your heart feels awake. And later you catch yourself asking, why did this happen to me? Maybe the better question is, what did this bring out of me? What did it reveal? What did it stir? What did it make impossible to ignore? Because relationships are mirrors. Some people mirror your best parts, your softness, your generosity, your courage, your ability to love deeply. Around them, you feel more like yourself. You feel lighter. You remember who you are when you're not in survival mode. And some people mirror the parts you avoid, the insecurity you hide, the old wounds you pretend don't exist, the fear of being abandoned, the need to be chosen, the habit of shrinking yourself just to keep someone close. Those hard connections usually aren't there to punish you. They're there to show you what you keep stepping over inside yourself. They expose the places where you still betray your own needs. They highlight the boundaries you struggle to set. They press on the bruise so you finally admit it's still tender. But here's the tricky part, and this is where so many people get confused. Not every intense connection is real love. Sometimes it's projection. Sometimes you don't see the person clearly. You see what you need them to be. You attach fast. You feel the rush, the obsession, the "this must be destiny" feeling. That kind of intensity is loud. It creates urgency. It makes you overthink. It makes you chase. It makes you feel like peace is boring and instability is passion. And when you're not healed, chaos can feel familiar, which means it can feel safe, even when it's hurting you. A real connection feels different. It's calmer, grounded. You don't feel like you have to earn love by proving yourself. You don't feel like you're constantly being tested. You can breathe. You can be normal. You can have an off day and still feel accepted. You don't feel like you're walking on eggshells or performing a version of yourself just to stay wanted. Real love doesn't make you smaller. It makes you steadier. Also, some people trigger you for a reason. Have you ever met someone and instantly felt annoyed, jealous, angry, or uncomfortable, and you couldn't even explain why? Sometimes that reaction isn't just about them. It's about what they wake up inside you, something you've pushed down, denied, or never allowed yourself to be. Maybe they represent freedom you haven't claimed, confidence you don't feel you deserve, boundaries you don't know how to set. Or maybe they remind you of someone who hurt you before, and your nervous system reacts before your mind even catches up. And if you keep repeating the same relationship story, same type of partner, same disappointment, same pain, that's not bad luck. That's a pattern. The mind repeats what hasn't been healed, not because you want to suffer, but because a part of you is still trying to solve an old wound through a new person. You keep hoping this time will be different, if you love harder, if you stay softer, if you become enough. But the truth is, you cannot heal a childhood ache with adult attention, and you can't turn someone into your safe place if you don't feel safe inside yourself. The good news is, patterns can change. The moment you start noticing your cycle, what you tolerate, what you chase, what you avoid, what you excuse, you start getting your power back. Awareness breaks the loop. Not instantly, not perfectly, but for real. Because once you see your pattern, you can't unsee it. And once you see it, you can start making different choices, even if they feel unfamiliar at first. And yes, some relationships are healing, not because they're dramatic or intense, but because they're safe. You don't have to beg for basic respect. You don't have to perform for love. You don't have to shrink, chase, or disappear. You can just exist. The other person doesn't save you. They walk next to you while you grow. They don't complete you. They support you while you become more whole. And some connections don't stay. They come like a storm. They shake you. They break what needed to break. They force you to face what you were avoiding. Losing them hurts, sometimes in a way you can't explain, but sometimes what you're really losing is an old identity, the version of you that settled, the version of you that kept hoping, the version of you that confused pain with depth. And that grief, as heavy as it is, can be the doorway to something more honest, more aligned, more peaceful. In the end, relationships aren't rewards or punishments. They're teachers, mirrors, turning points. They reveal what's still alive inside you. They show you what you need to heal, what you need to own, what you need to stop abandoning in yourself, and what you're ready to become. So maybe it's true. Nothing was random. Some people came to love you, some came to challenge you, some came to leave, but all of them showed you something real. And the more you understand that, the less you call it coincidence, and the more you start calling it growth.